Story.
I'm going to call this meeting to order. Dennis, can you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Richard? Here. Adrian? Here. Juanita? Here. Ernie? All right, any listening to yourself? Approval of minutes from regular meeting held on February 26, 2019.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from regular meeting held on February 26, 2019.
We have a motion by Adrian, a second by Richard. Roll call. Richard?
Four.
Adrian?
Four.
Juanita?
Four.
Motion passes. Approval of tonight's agenda from March 5th, 2019. I do have two changes. Item number 9, approval to offer financial assistance to the town of Estancia for the swimming pool. They will not have a representative here tonight, so they asked that we table that or take that off for tonight. And then item number 15, approval of resolution 2019-06 on our zero tolerance drug abuse policy. We don't have a full quorum, and I would like all council members to know that. So I'm going to scratch that off as well. Other than that, the agenda is good to go.
I'm making a motion to approve the agenda that the mayor recently just talked about, to change for March 5th.
I second that.
I have a motion by Adrian, sorry. Second by Juanita. Roll call. Richard?
Four.
Adrian?
Four.
Juanita?
Four.
Motion passes. First up, we have approval of resolution 2019-05 declaring the town of Mount Airy Second Amendment sanctuary town. Requests have been made by several citizens to declare Mount Airy a Second Amendment sanctuary town. This resolution is the official declaration. The reason this was not brought sooner to this governing body is because I do not believe personally that we should have a vote on this matter. Our founding fathers created 3 branches of government. If there are laws that are enacted by our legislative branch that are believed to be unconstitutional, then we rely on our judicial branch to give us a determination. The question essentially being posed to us today is if we believe the laws being proposed in Santa Fe that deal with gun rights are constitutional or unconstitutional. Our role in municipal government is to not make that determination. If citizens of this state feel these laws are unconstitutional, they should take them up in our court of law for a final ruling on such matter. If the question is would the town of Mount Airy follow a law that is determined by court to be unconstitutional, then the answer would be no, we would absolutely not. It has also been asked if we support our Torrance County Sheriff. The town of Mount Airy fully supports Sheriff Martin Rivera, and we have and will continue building a strong relationship with him and his department. I believe Sheriff Rivera to have strong character and feel he would not hold any vote this governing body makes against the town. Our 2 departments are working together, as was seen very recently, and we appreciate his willingness to help us, and we will support him in any way we can. I do not believe any of us, myself included, want our rights, which are guaranteed to us by the Constitution of the United States of America, to be infringed upon. The residents of the town of Mount Airy want us to make a determination on if we want to be considered a Second Amendment sanctuary town. I believe that most people think we have 2 options here, yes or no. That is not the case. I would like to remind this governing body that we have a 3rd option before us here today. We can vote in favor of not giving our ruling on this matter and agree to leave it up to the judicial system of our government the way our founding fathers intended. If we choose this option, which I believe to be the right option, it leaves that decision to those who should and will ultimately decide if these laws are in fact unconstitutional. That is our judicial system. If our judicial system decides that these laws are constitutional, then the town of Mount Airy will enforce them. If our judicial system decides that these laws are unconstitutional, then the town of Mount Airy will not enforce them. It is how our government was designed, it is how our government has been working since our inception, and it is how we should vote here today. These laws absolutely need to be decided on in a court of law, not a court of opinion, and definitely not by the governing body of the town of Mount Airy. I understand that this governing body and the residents of Mount Airy may think, well, this is just the mayor's personal opinion. And up until this point, you are correct. Everything I have told you is in fact my personal opinion. However, I have also decided to seek legal advice on this matter from our town attorney. Our attorney's purpose is to guide us on items such as this one here tonight. We have received the following advice from our attorney, and I quote, As you know, any resolution is guidance only and does not become law. It can be passed to make a statement to the legislator, but when it comes to law enforcement, your chief of police, as an officer of the law, is bound to follow the laws of the state of New Mexico until a court of law enjoins their enforcement or determines the law is unconstitutional. Towns and counties have very little constitutional authority in regulating guns. This is a state issue. Your town may express opinions on what the legislator passes, but you cannot choose not to enforce the laws they pass unless a court orders that they not be followed. He also sent a reference to Article 2 of the New Mexico Constitution. Article 2 of the New Mexico Constitution is entitled the Bill of Rights and consists of 24 sections. In Section 6, the text reads as follows: "No law shall abridge the right of a citizen to keep and bear arms for security and defense, for lawful hunting and recreational use, and for other lawful purposes, but nothing herein shall be held to permit the carrying of concealed weapons. No municipality or county shall regulate in any way an incident of the right to keep and bear arms." What this means is we, as a municipality, have no right or power to vote on such matter as presented before us here today. We can, and I am willing to entertain, for us to pass a resolution that says a majority of our residents do not feel a particular bill or set of bills should be passed. But it does not and will not change the fact that no municipality, ours included, can pick and choose what state and federal laws we choose to follow. I would like to remind the governing body of the town of Mount Airy that one of your primary responsibilities as a member of this body is to make reasonable decisions when it comes to items we pass. With the advice from our town attorney, there is only one clear option for us to vote on tonight. That option is to not vote in favor or against the Second Amendment sanctuary status, but to vote that we will not take up the issue and instead leave it up to our judicial system to decide. I will now hand out to you the email and reference from our town attorney for you guys to review.
So I don't know what the other council members think, but I think we should take the attorney's advice.
That's the way I feel too. We asked for advice and that's what the advice that they gave us.
Do I have that in form of a motion?
I make a motion to take the attorney's advice for the resolution 2019 will probably turn the town of Mount Airy.
Peter?
Yes.
I have a question for everybody. I mean, it's up there. What's your interpretation of the HB 83?
We do not decide on HB 30.
No, what's your interpretation though?
I haven't read it.
So you don't know where it is?
No.
83 or is it 87?
83. That's the one that's first and foremost to me.
And if you'd like, we can definitely send a letter to our legislators saying that the town of Mount Airy does not support that legislation. But as far as declaring ourselves a sanctuary city, that's out of the question.
No guts, no glory. So why'd you put it up to vote to the public? If it's out of the question.
Because you guys asked me. Because you guys asked me to.
How did that vote turn out?
How did that vote turn out?
It turned out, as you saw it, 87 to 13, 87,
In favor of what?
in favor of me putting it on the agenda. If you read it correctly, it says me putting it on the agenda. It says that it does not say nothing about how we would vote, or how I would vote.
So you guys have a final say out of all this on what's gonna happen in this town?
As the governing body, yes.
Okay.
We're not voting against Sanctuary City, but we're not voting for. We're voting that we will not take a stand on it because it is up to the judicial system of this government, the way that it was designed by our founding fathers, not by us. We do not make a determination if a law is constitutional or unconstitutional. And our chief of police is sworn as a member of this state to take out the laws of the state of New Mexico. That's the oath that he takes. Yes.
In order for the judicial system to get involved, is the counties and the cities of New Mexico have to band together and place a suit against the state to do this. The judicial system doesn't just jump in and say, we've decided that this law is unconstitutional. Somebody has to file a suit against them. And if the cities and the counties do not stick together to say, no, this is not constitutional, and the cities and the counties sit on the fence, then the state gets to do what they want and nobody says anything.
And I think by not voting, that's what you're saying, that you're voting no.
Like I said, I would definitely entertain the fact of sending a resolution saying we don't support a particular bill. But voting on Sanctuary City, I would take our attorney's advice, and I would suggest that the town on their governing body does the same.
And you guys have thought this through, or is this just you, Peter, speaking? Have you guys all thought about this, or is this coming from you?
We can't talk.
Because if we talk to each other, it's considered a rolling call.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, let's hear what you have to say.
I'm just saying, you gotta understand the bills in order before you decide what you're gonna vote.
Well, we don't
or not
decide
vote
on
for.
bills.
But you have a say.
Understand the bills.
What you guys vote
Right now.
has a say.
We don't decide on bills.
But what you guys vote has a say. It does.
We don't decide on bills.
Are we bound by the New Mexico Constitution or by the United States Constitution?
United States Constitution,
So the United States
Second
Constitution,
Amendment
the
is
Second Amendment.
your constitutional
should
right,
override whatever.
Yeah, the court will determine that.
town or
The
whatever,
court of law will determine that.
right, government.
Absolutely. will. How many counties have voted in favor of this?
24.
You don't think it's gonna go to court? You think that this is all holding?
So what do they see, Peter, that you don't?
Your rights should not be a court
Here,
item.
no?
What do these other counties see that you
You ever
don't?
read the
voting, Peter.
Constitution?
Okay.
I may do that too, whenever I want to do stuff.
You know about rights?
Okay, I'm used to after I'm not taking the attorney's advice, I'm not gonna stick my neck out there, so that's where I'm coming from.
What's your interpretation of what the attorney said? Peter? Your interpretation. You can't ask him what.
Isn't there a time for public,
This is at the very end.
at the end?
Yes, sir.
So that's when this should happen?
Yes, sir. Do I have a motion on the floor?
I second that motion.
Did you make a motion?
Yeah.
Okay. And you second? Okay, the motion on the floor, not to take a vote on the sanctuary amendment, sanctuary city. The second by Juanita, roll call, Richard?
Not four?
Not?
No.
Oh, four or not?
Four.
Four?
Yeah.
Sorry. Adrian?
Four.
Juanita?
Four.
Motion passes. Moving on, approval to write a letter in support of EMWT and seek a seat on the board of directors. As you know, County Commissioner Sanchez has requested the governing body consider writing a letter in support of the EMWT organization and to seek a seat on the board of directors.
Oh, no ball.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for taking an interest in your government work.
Are we interested in this, are we interested in writing a letter? I don't see why we should. I think that our better opposition for this would be if we did not join the board of directors.
I think there's a side of comments at the end, I can't hear what they're saying.
All right, go ahead and speak with
Right, please. Please be called upon. Okay, so as you know, last council meeting, Commissioner Sanchez came by and said that we should request to be on the EMWT and seek a seat on the board. Are you guys interested in doing that? I think the only one that really expressed interest was Ernie. I know I don't. I think that would be better in opposition, governing up with the mountain towns against. I did speak to someone who has more knowledge on this, and he recommended that EMWT has more to gain from us joining than us gain from us joining. So at this point, I really think that we should either not or at least table the item. It's up to you guys. Or if you want to seek additional input on it, you can do that one.
So I guess last time we were talking about reaching out to those chair, right? We haven't done that yet?
No, I don't. Yes. And then he said that we have more to gain, they have more to gain from us joining, because basically they can use that as mountaineers on our side than we would from joining them. So basically the battle, and in case everyone's wondering, this is over water rights. EMWT stands for Estancia Moriarty Willard in Torrance County, and they basically want us to join them. Well, they did at one point. And we don't want them to take our water rights, and we're afraid that they will take our water from Willard and funnel it up to Santa Fe County, past the freeway, and it will be long gone. And so this body last year has voted that we would not, that not only would we not join, we would stand in opposition of them. Commissioner Sanchez says that he believes that if we join them, we have more say into what they do. But in essence, I think it's more giving them additional power. It's basically showing the state of New Mexico, hey, Mountain Air is part of us now, and I don't want that to happen. We don't really have much to gain. I mean, we have 1 of 9 or possibly 10 seats on the board. I mean, that's not enough to even make a difference. So I don't think we're losing out on really anything. Yes.
What would you actually gain from giving up our water?
Well, no, that's the thing. Is
Yeah, what's
we don't really want to join because, so their plan, EMWT, is to pipe water from Estancia Basin to McIntosh. I'm totally okay with that. McIntosh is within the county. I'm 100% okay with that. My worry is if it gets piped to Moriarty or gets piped past Moriarty and then it becomes Santa Fe County or it gets tied in somewhere, it's gone.
It's
and we
highly
have
profitable
no
for
say.
them if
It
gets
is
that
very
far.
profitable for them.
Yeah.
So our
At the
decision
expense of us.
has always been no. And that's kind of the position that the mountain communities, Tijeras, Torreon, they've all in the same situation as we are. And, we joined in a letter last year in opposition to that. And, but like I said, Javier's now saying that we should at least join, but I don't see the benefits to joining. I see it as if we join, we're actually giving them more power than what we want them to have.
Can I ask a question, Peter? Would each of the land trust communities get a board member, each one of them?
I don't know that. So this is specifically for the town of Mountain Air.
Right.
I don't know if we would get 1 seat or 2, because Estancia and all the other places have 2 seats. So I don't know if we would automatically get 2, or they would just limit us to 1. This also is dependent on, we can ask all we want, they don't have to technically let us in. So they can technically say no. But another thing to think about is they can say no, but then they can use our letter to try to get in as a thing in Santa Fe saying, look, Mount Air wants to be a part of us. They support us essentially. And I don't think that's what I want to do.
And this isn't a new thing that's come before us. As long as I've been sitting on this council, it's recurring that they want us to join them. And at one time, we had carloads that went to Santa Fe in protest for our water. And it's the same thing, they go up to the county line, and then it's gonna jump right there into Santa Fe County. And it can go Edgewood, any place from the county line.
I was just asking from a tactical point of view, if Manzano and Punta and Ajique and Torreon each got to have a board of director, and then Mount
Right.
Air might have 1 or 2, all of a sudden, you're looking at.
We haven't reached out to that, have we?
I reached out to Jason Quintana, and he's on the board representing Torrance County, but he says that as far as the mountain communities, they are still drafting an opposition letter with their opinions.
Thank you.
And opposition to the board itself.
Opposition to EMWT as a whole. Basically saying, you're not gonna take our water.
And we did a letter of support, right? And are we still, or we did it? We never did.
We did a letter of opposition.
Whatever you did.
Or maybe we just didn't do anything, we just did the letter.
No, we did a letter. I thought we did a letter to support, or not for EMWT, but for the land grant. I think it was something along those
Yeah.
lines.
So we're not on board with them as far as the issue, or just the letter of support, and that's it?
Yeah, it's a letter of support, it's not joining in on them with anything, but, I wouldn't mind doing that at all. I wouldn't mind getting in on with them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kinda curious on that, and if we could join in with them or not.
So as far as this though, if we draft a letter in support of our mountain communities, then obviously we're not gonna be in support of joining in WT, correct?
Yeah.
Is that how pretty much the board feels? Yeah. Have a motion in the matter?
I make a motion that we write a letter of support, stating in the letter there that we do not want to see under.
A letter of support to MWT, or you're talking, oh.
The community.
So this is not dealing with the land grant, so it would have to be, your approval to not write a letter, essentially.
Okay, I make a motion, I refrain from apologizing. I have.
Not too bad.
Not to write a letter to them.
Okay, a second? We have a motion by Juanita, a second by Richard, roll call Richard. Four. Adrian? Four. Rita? Four. Okay. Approval to purchase 2 tons of coal mix from Vulcan Materials. Danny?
It's 20 tons, so it's an average around like 1,800, 1,900 for 20 tons of coal mix to start fixing roads.
Okay.
And that's here, can you get it pretty quick, or?
Yeah. Well, I called last week and they said they could order it the next day. I can have it pretty soon, tomorrow or next day.
This time frame we always get it, huh?
Yeah,
That's the same amount we always get?
yeah, that's what they're based, that's the same quote, we'll always get it.
Make a motion to purchase 20 tons of coal mix from Vulcan Materials.
Second. Have a motion by Adrian, a second by Richard. Roll call, Richard? Four. Adrian? Four. Rita? Four. Approval, disapproval to proceed with annexation of Padilla and Rodeo additions. So, that's up on this.
Yeah, we went through all the process, we surveyed all the people, sent them all certified letters, and we got a response. All but one wanted us to annex into town limits. And the reason why we want to annex them into town limits is everything east of Wilson, all those homes, are technically outside of town limits, so they are not allowed to vote in municipal elections. In the past, it was never a problem because the county just let it happen, let them vote. Well, they purged the records just before our last municipal election, and all those voters were very upset. So I thought it'd only be right to see if we can annex them in, until I got this quote last week. I thought it would be $1,000 or $2,000, because all these surveys, we have surveys of everything, but they can't take a hodgepodge of surveys and cut and paste them together. We need a fresh, brand new survey to annex it into town limits, and that fresh, brand new survey is gonna cost $9,200 just for the Padilla edition, and an additional $3,000 for the rodeo edition. Reason I bring up the rodeo edition is because we would like to do some developments out there, and because it's not in town limits, we have to go to the county P&Z to make additions. We want to expand all the hookups, RV hookups, so the rodeo groups can have more revenues coming in and support and really encourage that growth. But at $3,000, we might have to continue going to P&Z counties. So I'm asking if you guys want to proceed and continue with the additions, at least the Padilla addition, to get that property in, or do you want to just kind of nip it in the bud now before we go any further?
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, $9,200. We're gaining 5 or 6 maybe happy voters or angry non-voters.
Very well put.
So, you're thinking we don't have the money right for that, or is it more
We
come out of,
do,
or?
we would have to shuffle some money around, and we got money, there's money and there's budget. We would have to shuffle some around in the budget. We got the money, but is this really a priority to spend $9,200 right now, or?
I think we,
And actually, somebody, I can't remember who, somebody brought up a point that Eddie Padilla actually gave a lot of that, the easements for the utility, because the utilities are back there. So there are proponents of us going forward with this, saying, listen, we gave you all that, he gave you all that property, why not just go ahead and pull the trigger and bring it into town limits?
So you're saying Padilla is more of a priority?
No, I'm saying Padilla is in support of this.
But I'm just saying in general, is it right? Is there one priority more than the other, or?
well, the Padilla would actually be residents that we annex in. Rodeo grounds would just be the rodeo grounds.
Well,
So
then I
technically,
go-
the rodeo grounds is not considered the town of Mount Air. So our animal shelter is in the county technically. So that's on that.
But unfortunately, I forgot to give him an image of this, but this is the Turner Inn, this is Wilson Senior. And then it's just this triangle part right here, that all these properties, plus this kind of, what we would zone agriculture properties, because a few people run horses on them. So we actually have a zone designation for, I think, Ag 1, which we don't have any properties Ag 1, so this would actually give us an Ag 1 property.
During tax possible
There is a
tax
tax
benefit for you
implication.
guys?
There's,
For
well,
the
there is a
town?
tax benefit, yes. Their tax will increase because they'll have to pay not just a county cut, but a town cut,
Mhm.
and will benefit, but it's not $9,200.
It's not.
Yeah, it'll probably take us 10 to 20 years till we get $9,200 in terms of revenues.
You were stating that all the residents there were for it, except one person. He or she would be automatically
Yes,
annexed.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you have to have the majority. And ironically, he's at the bottom here, and I was talking with county, and he might already be in town limits. There's a little bit of dispute saying whether that's already in town limits or not. And he might already be in town limits, so I should even send him a letter. But he's doing it out of spite, really. He's concerned with like increasing the tax revenues and the tax expenses on his side.
So like the times we have for the rotary grounds, that'd be on hold for a while. I know we talked about it, like doing improvements over there. That'd be on hold. Towards the,
Yeah, well, they are generally on hold because we got higher priority stuff.
oh, okay, so that
And
would
we can pursue it, but it's,
that would be for like next year.
yeah, probably. And in fact, we can still go forward with improvements, it's just we would probably have to go to county and see, present that first.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So the budget you're recommending for Dios, you know?
I'm personally not making any.
I make a recommendation to put both on hold.
Oh, boy.
I just don't, I think, and the reason being is just because where we're at right now, we are in March. I think that this is something that we can take up in a couple of months when we hit the new fiscal year with the new budget. But as of this budget, we've been doing kind of a lot, actually, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, we've been doing a lot. Police department repairs, you know, just ordering signs and getting our wells up and going and things that have been neglected for years, that we have spent quite a bit of money. So I would recommend that we, and Jeff, the other day, our auditor, says that, you know, Mountain Air is sitting in a very good financial position right now. But that was prior to some of these improvements that we're making. Now, granted, the police department is coming out of insurance money, so that doesn't really affect our budget. But still, there's a lot of other things that we've been spending money on that I just feel like we should wait at least July, until the new fiscal year.
I would like to make a motion that we disapprove this annexation for Rotary Grounds and Padillas at this time. Mr. President.
I second that motion.
A motion by Richard, a second by Juanita. Roll call, Richard.
Or
Adrian.
More.
Juanita.
4.
All right, speaking of wasting money, let's continue on from that. Well, as you know, our public works building is not the prettiest building in town, and we want to kind of change that. So I'm bringing 2 items to the agenda today. One's to put out a bid for building repair for the public works building, as far as the stucco project, getting it re-stuccoed. And then the second item is for the windows replaced or fixed, and or fixed. I would assume that they'll probably go, once they look at it, probably go with replacement. But these projects can be separate, or someone can bid on them together. Basically, they redo the windows and then they re-stucco it. Or we get someone that's gonna redo the windows and then we get someone that's gonna re-stucco. So either or. But I just feel like right now, this doesn't bind us by anything. I mean, if we get the bids and they're really high, we can choose not to go with anybody and not do it at this time. But I just want to get approval to put them out for bid, so people can go and start looking at it and what they estimate it's gonna cost and give us their bids and if they wanna do it. The reason why I threw the windows in there was obviously because we don't wanna re-stucco it and then redo the windows, and obviously,
And this kind of came about from the community development meeting that we had recently. And one of the things that we were discussing was doing kind of a mystery shopper type thing, where having somebody come to Mountain Air and that's never laid eyes on Mountain Air and see it with fresh new eyes and basically do a report. We haven't done that, but what I did was I acted like, I just cleaned my mind out. I drove into town, and I was looking with an eye for the positives and the negatives. And by far, the ugliest building I saw as I drove through town was our own building. So I felt we need to do something that if we want to project, if you want to beautify this downtown district, you have to start in our own house. Curb appeal.
I did that too, Dennis, and you're right, it is the ugliest building.
Yeah, and I even stopped over at like.
So there's a couple others.
Good. Somebody had to say it.
Set the example.
Yeah.
I guess my other question would be is like, what's your priority? Because I just want to put money in the city hall. I mean, that's the all,
So that's,
okay, Saul, so I mean,
that's actually something we discussed, I'm not sure if I mentioned it last week, I think I did, where we want to start looking at the Saw building as like an enterprise fund. We're going to start promoting it more, and the money, the revenues we generate from that is going to go right into the Saw fund, and it'll go into improving that building. So we're definitely on it, that's probably the highest priority right now, but,
But we do have money in our recreation, but that you always bring up.
oh, lodge tax.
Lodgers tax money, that we can, with new lighting, lodgers tax money can be used to revamp it really nice. I mean, speaker system, I'm kind of thinking like, when you go to these big churches and there's these giant speakers on the wall and there's lights and there's projectors and that kind of thing, I think that would really put a nice touch to the building. We do have money in that, and we do have money in our recreation fund. That's what we used to redo the park a couple years ago. We can put money into that. The question really becomes when we want to decide what we're going to do there. And if you'd like, we can put that on the next agenda to kind of discuss what our plans are. And then once we get that, we can start looking for quotes, and then we can move from there.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to get quotes, but I just feel like there's a lot of issues with that building. You know, I know we're talking about grants, but what's it like to get a grant for that building? I mean, I've been on the council for years, and we've just been talking about it, so I just want to.
Just look into one grant, because the highest priority of the Saw building right now is the roof. We need to put a new roof on it. Jess looked into it, and he found a vendor that sells roof material that's made of PVC, I want to say. And it's lifetime warranty. It's better than the roofs that we have on these other ones, on these flat roofs, because they deteriorate after 15 years. This roof that he found, if the contractor goes out of business, it's warranted by the manufacturer itself. So it always goes back to the top, so it'll have a lifetime warranty. But he looked into a grant, and one of the problems with this grant was a USDA grant, is it required us to be certified, yeah. And the problem with a certified city means, or certified municipality, is that we have to have a board of historic preservation, and we have to have a mission statement, and there's a lot of steps you have to jump through just to become a certified municipality. And we could outsource it to a nonprofit, but they would have to have that mission as well, so we have neither. And we couldn't pull one together in time for this grant. But it's not off the table. We're still working that angle. Jess has just been kind of busy with the PD remodel to keep chugging away on that.
Yeah. I just,
Sorry, go ahead.
I would suggest that on the windows and the stucco, to definitely do the windows first.
Okay.
Because otherwise, obviously, the stucco guys are gonna have to mess around and that sort of thing. So if you can't do both, do the windows and then stucco later or something, however, or better yet, to pair together, but the windows would be first and then stucco.
just to clarify that for all of them.
Yes.
Well, I wrote the PD, I remember we did the front side, I think over here.
Yes, that would be all. So there's two separate things because I, obviously I put one with stucco and one with windows, so, first up is stucco. Do we have a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion to approve, to get quotes for Public Works building for stucco.
A second?
I second.
A motion by Richard, a second by Juanita. Roll call, Richard.
Four.
Adrian.
Four.
Juanita.
Four.
Motion passes. Next up, approval to give quotes for the Public Works building for windows. This is the investigation.
Make motion to get quote for the public works building for windows.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Adrian, and a second by Richard. Roll call, Richard.
Fourth.
Adrian.
What?
Juanita. Motion passes. We're skipping number 15.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Do we have a sense of where the animal shelter repairs are in terms of priorities with the rest of the buildings in town?
That is, I'm gonna say it again. You guys have to get me something.
What's wrong with that?
You have to get me a quote. I thought that was our last agreement.
Well, I mean, is there something internal? I don't.
It really has to do with like a lot of money and just, and
I
then
think
the issues with, like drainage,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, there's some pretty serious.
We really need a quote. If you bring me a quote, we will bring it before this. board.
Okay, Steve, I just,
I think Steve did get a quote, but he's looking for more quotes. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
oh, I did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you
Okay,
actually,
sorry.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
yeah, he had more height.
Oh, okay. Yeah, once we get that, I will bring it before this board.
Great.
Department head reports. Police department is not here. You do have the report there, and I'll actually go through it really quick. Prime report, this memo is to inform the town board of the following information pertaining to the operations of the Mount Airy Police Department. Officers responded to approximately 26 calls for service, to include animal and code enforcement. Officers have issued approximately over 10 citations for the first part of the month, which resulted in several PA fines. We have 2 child abuse CPS reports under investigation and safe house interview for 1 victim. We have 0 crash reports, 1 burglary reports reported in the month of March. Outstanding wanted gang member, obviously it's been out there on Facebook. Chris Gutierrez is still on the Metro Crime Stoppers reward list, a reward of up to $1,000 to be paid to a person who gives information that is his arrest. There have been several leads being investigated by TCSD, Florence County Sheriff's Department, and Mount Airy Police Department. Responded to several medical calls in town, 3 of them. Responded to a fire call of a truck fully engulfed in flames outside of town limits, no injuries to any persons. Mount Airy PD and fire department took information on photos. A recent burglary of the local BNSF station resulted in the theft of copper wire and other items, to include a high-value generator with trailer. This item was recovered by Mount Airy Police Department officers on 228 on Highway 60 in Able due to report of suspicious vehicle on private property. BNSF police were advised and said property was towed to Moriarty at request of BNSF police. Case active, suspect leads pending an arrest warrant. Chief Reyes provided supervision and assistance to Officers Torres and Martinez for processing the crime scene. Photos of tire tracks and footprints were also taken. Town Hall provided an excellent video of the vehicle used in this crime. Since then, we have added more cameras to our public works. Administrative reports. Officer Torres, Lorick, and Martinez did a DWI in TOX 8000 training. CYFD and New Mexico State Police investigations training was completed on child abuse, and CYFD referral investigations completed by Chief Reyes, Martinez, and Torres. Lorick was on military training. Animal code enforcement reported we have 1 impound, 1 adoption, 5 complaints of animals running at large, 2 citations issued, 2 traps for wildcats, 4 compliance letters issued, 2 code enforcement calls on private property. Annual report completed to the New Mexico Department of Public Safety for fiscal year 2018-19 training on all Mount Airy Police Department officers. They submitted a DWI funding packet to Torrance County DWI program. Overtime funding pending approval for directed patrols. Overtime monies will be paid directly to town account for officers' overtime monies. They completed and submitted UCR report index reports for December 2018 to the FBI. A total loss of property due to burglaries, larcenies, and other general crimes. Currency up to $10,000. Jewelry $20,000. Office equipment $5,000. Firearms $1,000. Household goods $5,300. Miscellaneous items $105. A grand total of $41,465. These figures represent the value issued by owners of the property, plus or minus due to no receipts or invalid information supplied by the residents. All right, Public Works.
Beginning date, November 9th, ending date, February 22nd. Workers on call, Edward and JJ Torres. Number of water line palms, 0. Gas palm, 0. Number of roads he serviced was 4. Cedardale and Cedardale Lane, Acoma, Cedardale, Acoma and Limit, Acoma and Manzano. Sewer plant service, 211, 213, 215, 219, and 222. Number of sewer ponds, 0. Injection of gas water, 219. Service equipment, dump truck, backhoe, road grader on 215 and 222. Additional work, haul gravel to multi-purpose room. Delivered water samples to Albuquerque. Installed cameras at Public Works building and replaced raw water faucet at Town Hall.
Perfect. Any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
When you guys do the odorizing, how were you supposed to be communicated that it's happening?
We usually do it all call. Are you on our all call system?
I guess not.
We can add you to it if you'd like.
I looked for gas leak
Robocall?
3 times now.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, we can put you on our robocall system. What we do is we usually do a call out, and you'll get a call, it's an automated call that says that we're gonna do it, like, usually we do it the next day or the morning, well, we try to do it the prior day, and, the morning of, we'll do 2. So,
okay, so I just,
give your number to Dennis after, or at town hall, or we can, do it. Any questions?
No, you were thinking out loud.
How far in advance do you schedule that?
That's a very good question. What we do is we test. So we test, and then the results of that test determine if we have to put an order in or not. So usually it's within a couple of days. It's not something that we schedule out, like, we don't know when the next time we're gonna do it.
Depends on the
We
meetings
test.
you get.
Option would be there. It's
Right.
a big deal.
Now, what's gonna eventually happen, so I didn't know that gas didn't smell. That's something that I learned when I came on board here. So what we're eventually gonna do is we are gonna pay for an odorizing system that will be put along our pipeline far out, like miles and miles away from people where they live, obviously. And that's automatic. So we will never have this, what we're doing right now. This is just because we're actually putting it in manually.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a thing where you like open it and close it and like the thing drops from it. So that's what kind of like takes it away. But eventually, hopefully within the next year or 2, I think we purchased most of it. So what happened was, we actually approved it last fiscal year, or the beginning of this fiscal year, I'm sorry. We used funds from last fiscal year and this fiscal year, and then we're gonna use funds from the next fiscal year now in July. Because it is an expensive project, like over $100,000. So it's coming soon, where it'll just be automatic.
Are we doing our road grading, Daniel? I mean, did we get all the roads kind of paved after the storm, or are we still?
Yeah, we're still catching up on some. We're working mostly on the west side, trying to get all those going between me and Edward. So, been good, hauling gravel to all of them.
Are we gonna send the others to that school, or the road, the bigger, or
Yeah, we need to.
do we have a plan for that, or are we gonna wait till they get off probation, or?
That's all we need.
Yeah.
I don't mind sending them before they get off probation.
So we just need to look for that school?
Yeah, see when
Try to see
it's
when it is and.
Yeah, it'll probably be out for next quarter. They offer it quarterly.
You'll still be in Roswell?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I know we're short-staffed and you guys do a lot of work and you do work hard. When we are grading those, sometimes bigger chunks of stuff are going onto the roadway. And we don't have the people to get them off. I don't know if we want to slow down on the productivity and put the sweep behind the blade, if that's possible.
We need a rock. We need to get up there, just wanna pick up the rock.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the sweep would fix the problem if we had another guy to put on it behind the grader.
What do you think about it? Any questions? fire, Carol Blade did ask if I needed her here tonight. I told her next meeting will be fine, so March 19th we'll get an update on EMS. Dennis with file fire administration.
Since I forgot last week's, I kind of added a lot of last week's in this. We closed on Edward's property, so that's a done deal. I gave 2 history tours over at the Saw Center with Lenora, and we showed the 4th and 5th graders the importance of our Saw building. The community development committee met on the 22nd, and we discussed many of the things that we talked about at the last meeting. Records destruction, I started working on the MVD records destruction, and pretty soon I'll be coming to council with a request to destroy a lot of financial and administration records. We got old stuff going from 2014 all the way down. And this week we actually started working on our Tyler training, and that's actually taking up a lot of our time. We've had to close half of yesterday just to, so Esperanza could be on training. And then finally, we'll be meeting with USDA on the 15th. The state regional director will be coming here and wants to look at the PD and any other possible funding things that we need, other projects. So they want to build a relationship with us and kind of probably use us as a poster child for success. So we'll be meeting with them on the 15th, Mayor and Chief and Daniel. And then so MVD, we've had a gross revenue of $14,452. That sounds like a lot, but we only get a tiny fraction of that, like maybe 10 to 12%. So that's not to say we're raking in the dough. But we've issued 52 driver's licenses or CDLs, 158 registrations, and 49 titles. That's it.
Me and Dennis will be gone on Thursday
Yeah.
for training in Las Cruces, so we will not be in town. Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem,
But you will be out for that one day?
just for the one day. We have to go to Cruces on training. Perfect, right now we have public input, if anyone would like to give their public input.
I'd like to thank you for the work you do, all of you. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Dennis and the mayor and the police department for their help in the recovery of the BNSF equipment. You helped a lot sending that video to our officers, and your guys' cooperation was awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think it took a lot of, I'm sorry, I think it took a lot of courage for you guys to stay focused on the issue at hand, which is that the town council and the town doesn't take positions on constitutional law, and that you focus on the functioning of the town so that you couldn't be used for propaganda purposes for one team or another. I think, I think as people were leaving that element, they were complaining about spinelessness, and I think the absolute opposite is the case. That you showed real resolution and courage in the face of a lot of bravado and opposition.
Thank you. Okay, closing comments from town council? Have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Motion by Adrian, second by Richard. Roll call, Richard.
I'm not even hungry yet.
Adrian?